is something about both Dawood alayhi salam and Sulaiman alayhi salam. They are in a position of power. And in that position of power, Allah, one place in the Quran in Surah Saba describes some of what they were doing. Allah then says to both, to Dawood and his family now, Sulaiman, the next generation, He says to them, "I'malu ala Dawood shukra." He says, family of David, family of Dawood, do shukr. It's in the same ayah where the factory was being described. Family of Dawood, do shukr. Allah is not telling them to sit there and say Alhamdulillah. That's already understood. He's not telling them to say shukr. He's telling them to do shukr. So what in the world is doing shukr? I mean, when we think of do shukr, we say Alhamdulillah. We say something. But Allah is telling him to do something. Not say something, to do something. And then He ends by saying, وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِي الشَّكُورِ. And how few of my slaves tend to be well and grateful, like deeply grateful. Shakur is mubalagha, so extremely grateful or truly grateful. How few turn out that way. In other words, gratitude to Allah is more than lip service. Gratitude to Allah is more than a reaction. Allah is inspiring both of these prophets to produce something, to take the resources that they have, melt them, make them into precise cuts, turn them into something else, build and build and build. And that building, that act of building and developing, that act that is going to go far beyond their lifetimes. Because once a factory is built, the factory owner can die, the factory will keep going. Once the car manufacturer has designed the engine, once the engine has been designed, it will be enhancements to it, but the engine's already there, the car industry will go on. The inventor will not remain, but the invention will remain. That's the history of the world. There's a reason we have the wheel. The guy who figured it out is not here, but we're all using it. Allah is telling both of these prophets, whatever resources are at your disposal, when you make full use of them, when you make full use of them, and they know everything they're building, everything they're amassing, they're doing it for a greater service. They're not doing it for themselves. Then this is actually shukr. That's actually, you're doing shukr. And what does Allah do if you show gratitude? If you and I become people of shukr, not just by words, but by actions. What does Allah do? What is Allah's promise? لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you can show gratitude, I promise you, I swear by it, I will enhance you and continue to enhance you, continue to increase you. You and the stuff you own, you and your knowledge, you and your sincerity, you and your ibadah, you and your resources, all of it will continue to increase. It'll continue to expand. This is about the ni'mah and the amana that Allah gave a human being, the ability that Allah gave a human being, the money that Allah gave a human being, the resources, the opportunity that Allah gave a human being, to put that to 100% maximum use to produce the most amount of benefit. And while doing all of that, not for a moment do you think, yo, you know what I did? 5,000 restaurants. No, shut up. No, you did nothing. I did nothing. You and I can't accomplish what Dhul Qarnayn accomplished. To me, he should be studied very carefully, especially by youth. When he goes and travels the world and establishes empire in different societies, at the end of it all, what's his final statement? And sada rahmatun min Rabbi. Everything I've been able to accomplish is a rahmah from my Rabb. Something we know, he accomplishes the most amazing things, and at the end of all of that, what does he say? This is a rahmah from my Rabb. So some of you might be nihilistic, and you might have this fatalistic view of life. Like, why do you want me to build 5,000 restaurants and expand and own a university and start hospitals? Why do you want me to do that? It's all going to become nothing in the end. Allah will destroy everything. إِنَّا لَجَاعِلُونَ مَا عَلَيْهَا صَعِيدًا جُرُزًا. All the buildings will be crushed. Everything will be mud on Judgment Day. Yeah, that's Judgment Day. That's not now. Now Allah said do this. Why is Allah making Dawood alayhi salam build a factory and putting the jinns to work? Why isn't He telling him, why are you even bothering? Judgment Day is coming, just sit down and just do shukr in a corner. Why is he telling him to do it? Why is Dhul-Qarnayn building a wall? He could just say, let him come, judgment day is coming anyway, you'll be shaheed, it's okay. Why? Our mentality, sometimes our passive mentality, don't do, don't build, don't expand khayr, and because it's the more spiritual thing to do, our spirituality goes against the spirituality of the Quran itself. We need a cleanse from our corrupted thinking, which we think is spiritual in nature. It's not. It's not. These are influences that are not from the book of Allah. These are other influences. Our book, everything is in balance. Work really hard to build, knowing it's temporary, and when it comes and when it goes, that's in the hands of Allah, like my own life.